And it's time for our 4-H Spotlight here on your live event here with Carly Sipp, Norman County 4-H. And Carly, tell us a little bit about what you brought to the fair here this year.
This year I have 2 heifers and I have a market barrel.
Okay, and between the two, kind of explain what the difference is between those two in terms of showing and getting them prepared for the fair.
Well, for the 2 heifers, those are your beef animals. Those you require leading them around with a show halter, and you also have a show stick that help you maneuver how you set up their feet and make them look presentable to the judge. And then a market barrel, which is your hog, and you use a show whip, and that's how you lead them around the ring for the judge to see all kinds of profiles for them.
Okay. And between the two, in terms of showing a hog compared to a cow, which one's harder?
I would say they're both pretty hard, but I would say beef is a little bit more difficult just because I think you need a lot more time with your beef than where a pig you can maybe not use as much time depending on how your pig behaves for you. But yeah, I definitely think beef is harder.
Which one do you like better?
I like both, but I think beef is more of my favorite.
Okay. And what's the goal here this year? Is it to get better than last year, qualify for the state fair? Do you have a certain goal in mind?
Yeah, hopefully I'm just hoping for a state fair trip either with my pig or one of my heifers, but yeah, that's definitely the goal for this year.
Okay. And on the 4-H side of things, how long have you been in 4-H, and what's been a favorite memory you've made in 4-H?
I've been in 4-H for about 13 or 14 years, and my favorite memories are always just coming to the county fair and enjoying seeing everybody and showing in the ring.
And advice to younger showmen when it comes to pigs, beef, what would be the best piece of advice you could give them?
Definitely just work hard and spend time with them. That's going to be the best benefit for you, is spending time with your animals.
And then, of course, it's the Norman County Fair. Will you be taking part in any rides, fair food, anything like that?
Maybe fair food, but rides, probably not.
All right, any fair food catch your eye yet?
No, haven't really been out yet today. Kind of just getting everything set up.
Awesome. Well, Carly, thanks for the time today.
Thank you.
And it's time for a 4-H Spotlight here on your live event here with Billy Rush of Ada Bar West FFA and Norman County 4-H. And Billy, tell us a little bit about what you brought to the fair here this year.
So this year I brought 3 pigs. They're all barrows, 2 for 4-H and 1 for FFA, as well as a few different static entries. I think 4 in 4-H and 5 in FFA, I believe.
Okay, starting with the static entries, tell us a bit about the projects you brought in.
So in FFA, I brought in it's a workbench that has wheels on it, and it has a top layer and a second layer. And I just made it to use in our shop if we're working on equipment or doing maintenance. It's nice to wheel to the machinery, put the tools on it, as well as different mechanical parts that I take off and put on the machinery, as well as another table that's a single layer for 4-H. Pretty similar designs and similar purpose, as well as a few CNC projects for 4-H and FFA, and a log holder for FFA to hold firewood next to a fire or to organize in our garage.
Okay, and as we've mentioned, as we saw earlier, you were working on your pigs over there. Tell me, how does a person determine what pig to bring to fair?
So on my farm we have sows and we run a farrow to finish operation. So we just look at what pigs that we have that are market pigs that we want to breed with AI that are show pig genetics. So about 6 months ago I got that sow bred, and then for 6 months before the piglets are born rather, I get the genetics that I purchased online on a website, breed it with one of our gilts that we have on the farm, and then about 114 days after we breed the sow, we get the pigs, and then these ones were born in January, so then now it's June, and the pigs are looking good. They weigh about 280. I have 3 of them, and I've just been working with them and getting them ready for the fair.
And in terms of getting them ready for a fair, what kind of does the practice look like?
Well, what it looks like for me is getting the pigs out of the pen once a day for the last few weeks, walking them around, using the whip a little bit to direct them, and getting them used to what I'm going to do here at the fair.
All right, and I know you've been in FFA here for a long time, as well as a 4-H, and kind of tell me a little bit about what made you first initially get invested in 4-H, and maybe a favorite memory you've made along the way.
So I have 4 older siblings that were in 4-H before me, so I followed in their footsteps. I have an agriculture background, being raised on a farm, so it was always something that I was interested in, and I've been interested in livestock. I've been interested in pigs, so I'm excited to bring my pigs to the fair every year, and making different projects for the fair. For 4-H and FFA is always fun to do during the year and bring them to the fair for people to see.
And you mentioned you're both doing livestock and exhibits on inside, and I know a lot of kids don't do that here at fair time, so what makes you want to do both and continue to do both?
I think it's kind of started when I was younger. I made projects and I've always enjoyed it from a young age, and even now I like to weld different things together and weld tables and different things that I can use at the farm and at my house. So it's always a fun challenge to see what I can make and see how I can get judged here at the fair.
And as a veteran in 4-H, a final question for you. What's the best advice that you could give to a young 4-H'er or a Cloverbud?
I think the best advice is for them to get involved, try different things from a young age and see what your niche is, see what you like doing and what you're good at, and get really good at a few things. If that's livestock, if that's static entries, whether that's making things or making presentation boards, showing pigs, showing cows, whatever it is, get good at that and enjoy it as much as you can.
Awesome. Well, Billy, thanks for the time.
You're welcome.
And it's time for another 4-H Spotlight here on your live event here with Michael Crompton, our Norman County 4-H. And Mike, tell us a bit about what you brought to the fair here this year.
Oh, I brought 2. I have 1 steer and a heifer myself and a cow-calf pair.
Okay. And tell us a little bit about choosing your cows and such before an event. What do you kind of look for them?
Well, for the steers, you want more of the muscle content, shape of body, the body structure, and then hair is also a big thing, because if you have a nice coat of hair, you can change the animal's look a lot.
Okay. And in terms of preparing for the fair, how does that look for you in terms of practice and getting to know the animal?
Well, you always want to practice showmanship. You always got to be working with them, pulling them around the yard all the time. Just whatever you do in the ring, you want to do it at home.
And what makes a good showman to a judge? What are they kind of looking for there?
Well, if you can get the animal in a good stance and keep the head up, and it's pretty much making the animal look good.
Awesome. I know you've been in 4-H here for a long time, and what's been the thing that's kind of kept you wanting to do it and wanting to show cows?
I just love showing the cattle. I don't know much about it. I just like doing it.
All right. And I know you're here with your siblings here as well. Do you guys get to practice together here, or do you guys tend to go off on your own?
No, we generally do everything together as a family.
All right. And so does that way you guys kind of bounce ideas and and I would say advice for each other?
Yeah, most of the time.
Awesome. And who's the best showman between the three of you?
Either me and Malin, I don't know.
You don't know, huh?
It's pretty close.
It's pretty close. All right. And is there any sibling rivalry there, or not really?
A little bit.
A little bit. What's the goal here this year? Are you trying to qualify for a state?
Yeah, it'd be great if I can get a state fair trip, yeah.
Have you ever been before, or would this be the first time?
Yeah, I went last year with my steer.
Tell me a little bit about that experience. So, how does the state tournament, or I should say, the state fair, differ from like showing here at the county?
A lot more people and get up earlier because the wash racks are generally full early. And
Okay. In terms of what you learned at state fair last year, did you pull anything else from there?
not too much, but just a little bit more showmanship tips. And
Okay. Walk us through a typical show for a cow. Kind of start off when you're leaving your pen up to the end of the show. What you get? What a typical show looks like.
generally, you'll take your animals from the pen, you wash them, and then you'll take them to either tie outs or back to your stall and start fitting. It's like making the hair look good. And then you'd try to want them to get drink water and eat some feed, so it makes them look more full, and then you wait in line to show.
And in terms of when you're not doing 4-H activities, what do your duties on the farm typically look like?
Pretty much all stuff on the farm. I like doing all the cattle stuff. It's probably my favorite part.
And how big would you say your herd is?
My herd, I probably have like 5 cows, but in the family we have like 130, 140.
So I'm sure that takes a lot of work to upkeep.
Oh yeah, it takes a lot.
Awesome. Well, Mike, before we get going here today, what would be one piece of advice you'd give to an early clover bud like your youngest brother there?
Just do it. Yeah, it's a good time.
Awesome. Well, Mike, thanks for the time today.
Thank you.
And it's time for another 4-H Spotlight here on your live event here with Hadley Abentroth of Norman County 4-H. And Hadley, tell me a little bit more about the projects you guys are doing here this year.
My family and me, I am bringing swine, sheep, and horses. And some of the projects I brought into the actual 4-H building are photography, food, and welding.
Okay. So tell me a little bit more on the animal showing side of things first. Kind of what does that entail heading into a fair?
A lot of hard work, a lot of long hours in the barn. I know especially we're so busy right now trying to get the animals tame and being able to get them fit and ready, and it takes a lot of hard work and a lot of time and effort.
Is there an animal that you enjoy showing the most between the different species?
I like riding my horse the most, I'd say. I enjoy riding her the most, and I also do enjoy the lamb project. That takes a lot of hard work and a lot of time, but it is definitely worth it.
What's the most difficult thing about showing yourselves?
Just getting them able to trust you and getting them tame and where you can work with them without them going crazy, but just getting them to trust you is probably the hardest part.
Okay. How about the projects that you mentioned, welding and photography among them? Tell me first about the welding project you're doing.
I made a necklace hanger out of old horseshoes that I had or laying around the house. I welded them together and was able to make something I could hang my earrings on.
What made you want to get into welding?
Our school in A class, it was a unit and you had to weld something, so I actually did enjoy it once I got into it.
And the photography portion, how long have you been doing that?
I've been doing it ever since I was little, but I really do like taking pictures. Either it was on my mom's phone when I was little or my phone now. I do enjoy taking pictures a lot.
What's your favorite thing to take photos of? Is it nature, animals, people?
Mainly my animals. You always see, I always have my pictures of my animals and the sunset too, especially, yeah.
How long have you been in 4-H?
Ever since I was Clover Bud, so starting kindergarten to now I just finished my 10th grade year.
Alright, so you've been in quite a while, and what's been your favorite project that you've ever done?
My favorite project has probably been working with my animals and being able to show them off. It's definitely really rewarding when all your hard work shows off.
Okay. And advice to young FFAers, of course. You've been in a while. What's the best piece of advice you could give them?
Just to go out and do it. Try new things. That's the main. I mean,
just try new things. That's really what you want to do.
Then on the 4-H side of the fair, what do you look forward to most about the fair every year?
Just getting to hang out with people, getting to show my animals off, seeing a lot of friends and family, and just seeing everyone's hard work coming together.
All right. Anything else you wanted to mention about the fair before we get going today?
No, just have fun, and I encourage young people to come out and join 4-H.
And it's time for another 4-H Spotlight here on your live event here with Billy Crompton of Norman County 4-H. And Billy, it was exactly 1 year ago since we last talked, and that must mean it's your birthday here today, huh?
Yes,
And how old are you turning?
8 today.
Okay. And what did you ask for your birthday this year?
Mostly cow stuff and farming toys.
Okay. And tell me, do you like being able to celebrate your birthday at the fair?
Yes,
Okay. What's your favorite thing about being able to celebrate here at the fair?
showing my calf and seeing experience.
Okay. Tell me, what are you competing in here this year?
Cloverbud. Or
Cloverbud. Okay, so that means how old do you have to be to compete in Cloverbud?
like 12.
Okay. And you mentioned you're showing your cow here. Tell us a little bit about your cow. Do you have like a name or anything like that for him?
Her name is Lunda, and she's a really big cow.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about your cow's personality. How does she act?
She fights a little bit, but not too much. She's mostly nice.
Mostly nice. Okay. How about your brothers and sisters? I know you get to compete with them as well. Do you like being able to be out on the show with them?
Yes,
And why is that?
because they help me show my calf.
Okay. And of course, we've talked with Mike, Madeline, and Jean here earlier in the week. And who would you say is the best showman between the four of you?
Mike mostly teaches us.
Okay. And what do you like about 4-H?
That you get to see all the experience and
Okay. And I know you're showing cows. Did you have any other exhibits or projects here today?
flowers.
Okay, flowers. You like growing flowers?
Yes,
Do you get help with that with like your mom or Madeline or your brothers?
yes.
Who helps you with that?
My mom and my sister.
Okay. And what do you like about flowers?
That they're very colorful.
Do they smell pretty good too?
Yes.
Do you know what kind of flowers you grew this year?
No.
Okay.
Name.
Okay. How about other animals here in the barns? Is there any other animals that you like to go look at and watch?
The pigs and the chickens, but we didn't show any chickens or the pigs.
Okay. Would you ever want to show pigs or chickens?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Well, Billy, before we get going here today, was there anything else you wanted to tell us about 4-H or about the fair before we get going?
No.
Are you gonna be riding any rides later?
Yeah.
Any rides catch your eye yet?
The yo-yo.
Awesome. Well, Billy, thanks again for the time here today, and happy birthday to you as well.
Thank you.
And it's time for another 4-H Spotlight here on your live event here with Kira Higerberg of Norman County 4-H. And Kira, tell us a little bit about what you brought to the fair this year.
This year I brought a couple lambs.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about showing a lamb. What does that entail before you even arrive at the fair? What kind of practice do you have to put in for that?
Well, you have to start by getting to know them, what they like, what they don't like, so that they cooperate in the ring. And just being able to, each lamb's different, so you have to be able to know what kind of, how you're supposed to position them, so you know that they can be shown the best of their ability.
Walk us through a typical showing of a lamb. How does it start? What happens in the middle and then at the end?
Well, when we show, we gotta start by making sure that it's appeared good to the judge. So you gotta make sure that they're not walking too fast and they're not going too slow. And then when you go, you gotta set them up. So you gotta get them to brace so that they can show off their muscle to be able to for the muscle to appear to the judge better.
Okay. And in terms of choosing the lamb to show, how does that process look like for you?
Well, the process to picking out lambs, you want to make sure that they have good structure, good muscle content, and just so that they're able to build on more muscle.
All right. And what's the goal here for you this year? To qualify for state, just get better? Any sort of goal in mind?
Yeah, I'm hoping to get a state fair trip, but I mean, as long as I get to show, I mean, that's all.
All right. And how long have you been a part of 4-H?
I've been a part of 4-H about 13, 14 years.
Okay, so you have a lot of experience in showing lambs then. And what's maybe one or two pieces of advice you'd give to a person maybe starting off with showing lambs?
I believe that if you stay consistent and make sure that you really work with your lambs is the best way to succeed.
All right. And Norman County Fair, of course, as we've mentioned before, rides, games, food, anything that has caught your mind that you'll be participating in yet?
Well, with 4-H, I tend to be really busy, so I don't get to spend time on rides as much, but I'm really looking forward to the food.
All right. Well, Kira, before we get going, anything else you wanted to mention?
Nope.
No shout-outs?
Nope.
All right. Well, thanks for the time today.
Yep.